Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to welcome the Japanese counterpart Shinzo Abe in his home state today. Ahmedabad is decked up for this grand visit. Abe and Prime Minister Modi will together hold a mega roadshow in the city, and tomorrow they will inaugurate the much-awaited bullet train.
Ahmedabad is decked up like a bride. All set to roll out the red carpet for Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who is spending his entire two-day visit to India in PM's home state, to be hosted by Prime Minister Modi all along. The visit will begin Wednesday afternoon with an 8-kilometer roadshow where Abe and his wife Aki Abe will be accorded a grand welcome. From the airport to Mahatma Gandhi's famous Sabarmati Ashram, to be accompanied by PM Modi himself. Later in the evening, both the leaders will visit the 16th century Siddhi Said Mosque. The intricate carvings of this mosque is considered an architectural masterpiece.
जापान के प्रधानमंत्री एबे यहाँ पे 14 तारीख को सुबह बुलेट ट्रेन की जो भूमि पूजा है वो करने के लिए आने वाले हैं। दरअसल ये बुलेट ट्रेन का जो प्रोजेक्ट है वो काफ़ी देश के लिए और ख़ास करके हम कह सकते हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का एक सपना ये है कि बुलेट ट्रेन शुरू हो और उसी की शुरुआत के लिए यहाँ पे भूमि पूजन किया जाएगा।
Afterwards, they will have a traditional Gujarati dinner at a Gashi restaurant in the eastern part of the city. On Thursday, Abe and Modi will lay the foundation stone for the 508-kilometer long bullet train project between Ahmedabad and Mumbai, which is expected to hit tracks in 2022.
नया सिस्टम देश के अंदर बनेगा जो कि सबसे पहला देश का बुलेट ट्रेन प्रोजेक्ट रहेगा और मुंबई अहमदाबाद हाई स्पीड रेलवे परियोजना के तहत इसे बनाया जाएगा।
Later that day, both the premiers will hold the 12th India-Japan Annual Summit at Mahatma Mandir in Gandhinagar. Over 9,000 police personnel will fan across strategic locations in the city to secure it for the two-day visit. The twin cities of Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar, which will host a slew of programs during the high-profile visit, are all decked up to lavishly host the Japanese Prime Minister, who's visiting the state for the second time in 3 years. Bureau Report, India Today.
At the backdrop of the Doklam standoff, India's partnership with Japan could become the cornerstone of a coalition to take on China. Remember, Japan had come out strongly in support of India in the 2-month-long Doklam standoff near Sikkim and said there should be no unilateral attempts to change the status quo by force. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's statement came a month ahead of his India visit and was the first show of unequivocal support to India on the issue. Shinzo Abe's India's visit may see launch of Asia-Africa Growth Corridor, a project seen as a counter to China's Belt and Road Initiative. Well, India has hit back at the United Nations human rights body after it slammed New Delhi over its plan to deport Rohingya Muslims. Lodging strong protests over the remarks, India questioned United Nations' duplicity and selective approach in dealing with the issue. It also objected to remarks in India's internal matters.
Amid debate over illegal Rohingya Muslim immigrants, the UN rights body criticized India for its decision to deport thousands of Rohingyas, fleeing violence in Myanmar's Rakhine state.
I deplore current measures in India to deport Rohingyas at a time of such violence against them in their country.
India reacted sharply, rejecting strongly the UN human rights chief's remarks.
Like many other nations, India is concerned about illegal migrants, in particular with the possibility that they could pose security challenges. enforcing the laws should not be mistaken for lack of compassion.
India has over 40,000 Rohingyas settled in various parts of the country, especially in Jammu and Kashmir. The war of words with UN erupted days after this declaration by the junior Home Minister.
No human rights organization or no other country can accuse India of intolerant or dealing with Rohingyas in a very inhuman manner. They are illegal immigrants in India. Deportation has to be through a legal process. No other country has accepted as much refugees as India has accepted.
The UN human rights chief did not limit himself to the Rohingyas crisis only. He criticized India over internal issues like cow vigilantism and Gauri Lankesh's killing, inviting strong rebuttal from New Delhi.
I am also dismayed by a broader rise of intolerance toward religious and other minorities in India, including a wave of violent and often lethal mob attacks under the pretext of protecting the lives of cows, and threats to journalists and human rights defenders who work for the rights of India's most vulnerable groups.
India is proud of its independent judiciary, freedom of press, vibrant civil society, and respect for rule of law and human rights. A more informed view would not only have recognized this, but also noted, for example, that the Prime Minister himself publicly condemned violence in the name of cow protection. India does not condone any infractions in violation of law, and imputations to the contrary are not justified.
But UN's criticism of India has put the spotlight on its own stoic silence on gross human rights violations in India's neighborhood. Since the birth of Pakistan, the country's Hindu population has shrunk from 22 to 1.9%. Thousands have been abducted and killed in extrajudicial killings by Pakistan's armed forces in Balochistan. 49 media persons have been murdered in Balochistan since 2001. This year alone, Bangladesh has seen 9 murders of members of the minority community. Bangladesh's Hindu population, that was just over 13% in 1974, fell to 10.7% by 2015. UNHRC has no comments on Bangladesh, although it noted difficulties in Pakistan's dealings with refugees. Then does the international agency have the locus standi to question India's intent in putting internal security over refugees? Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, India will file a written submission in the Kulbhushan Jadhav case at the United Nations top court. India hopes the International Court of Justice will declare the former Indian Navy officer's death sentence a breach of international law. Jadhav was sentenced by Pakistani military court on charges of espionage and terrorism. The International Court of Justice restrained Pakistan from executing the Indian national on May 18th. On June 8th, India and Pakistani representatives met the International Court of Justice President Ronnie Abraham to discuss a timeline for the case. It was then decided India would file a written submission on September 13th and Pakistan would reply on December 13th. The post-mortem report of 7-year-old Pradyuman has ruled out sexual assault. Dr. Deepak Mathur, who conducted the post-mortem, said the child died due to excessive bleeding after he was attacked on his neck, and there were no signs of sexual assault on his body. Accuser Ashok had earlier admitted that he killed Pradyuman after he resisted attempts of unnatural sex in the toilet. Meanwhile, an eyewitness who is father of another student claimed the crime scene was tampered with after the incident. The eyewitness said he rushed to the spot after hearing screams in the school, and despite his warning, school staff continued to clean the blood.
डेथ शॉक एंड हेमरेज है, एक्सेस खून बहने की वजह से उसकी डेथ हुई है।
अच्छा, गले पे निशान मिले हैं चाकू, वो निशान क्या चाकू के थे? दो निशान हैं, दोनों शार्प वेपन इंजरी हैं चाकू के। शार्प वेपन में क्या कुछ हो सकता है सर? चाकू है मोस्ट कॉमनली, चाकू, ब्लेड, कोई भी शार्प वेपन जिसका एक एज शार्प हो वो शार्प वेपन की कैटेगरी में आता है, और मोस्ट लाइकली ये चाकू जो दिखाया भी है पुलिस ने पॉसिबल है उससे। दो निशान है सर?
2 निशान है चाकू।
कहाँ पे है सर?
दोनों गले में है, सामने की तरफ है, अक्रॉस द नेक है।
अच्छा, क्या मतलब चाकू से वार करने से पहले या जिस शार्प हथियार से वार किया गया उससे पहले क्या गला भी दबाया गया, कुछ ऐसी भी चीज़?
नहीं, गला दबाने की कोई निशान नहीं है, सिर्फ शार्प वेपन इंजरीज ऑन द नेक है, गला दबाने की पॉसिबिलिटी नहीं है इसमें।
शरीर पे कोई चोट के निशान या कुछ ऐसा?
इन 2 चाकुओं के निशान के अलावा कोई चाकू का निशान नहीं है, किसी और प्रकार की चोट भी नहीं है शरीर पे।
जैसा कि ये थ्योरी सामने आई थी कि इस शख्स ने सबसे पहले कुकर्म करने की कोशिश की, कुछ ऐसी चीजें
कोशिश करी हो उसका मैं नहीं कह सकता हूँ, लेकिन अटेम्प्ट एक अलग चीज है और एक्चुअली हो पाना एक अलग चीज है। बॉडी पे इसके कोई फिजिकल साइंस नहीं है सेक्सुअल असॉल्ट के।
तो मौत की वजह एक्सेस खून ही है?
एक्सेस खून ही है। 2 चोटें हैं, एक सुपरफिशियल है, उसके बाद सेकंड चोट है वो डीप है, वो है जो फेटल है इंजरी।
क्या लगता है सर, क्या जो वार किया गया कोई जैसा कहा जाए कि एक आदमी जो एक्सपर्ट होता है, एक्सपर्ट के तरीके से ये वार किया गया है या कोई मतलब अचानक ऐसा?
ये कहना पॉसिबल नहीं है, इवन एमेच्योर कैन डू लाइक दैट ऑल्सो। जो पहली बार करेगा मे बी अगर गले पे वार कर रहा है तो कर ही सकता है ऐसे। एक्सपर्ट होना या ऐसी पॉसिबिलिटी कोई नहीं है इसमें जरूरी।
अच्छा, जिस तरीके से वार किया गया, चाकू कैसा लग रहा है? घरेलू चाकू लग रहा है?
घरेलू चाकू भी हो सकता है, चाकू के साइज का मैटर नहीं है इसमें, ये काटा गया है, घोंपा नहीं गया है, चाकू से काटा है। छोटा चाकू भी अगर धार तेज हो और प्रेशर से अप्लाई किया जाए तो ऐसा घाव आता है उससे।
तो गले पे इस जगह पे साइन,
यहाँ से कान तक का,
यहाँ से कान तक का
लंबा काटने का घाव है, घोंपने का घाव नहीं है, काटने का घाव है, गहरा है, कंसिडरेबल प्रेशर से अप्लाई करके करा है, तभी गला पीछे तक कटा हुआ है।
I went to leave my child to the school, and after leaving him, I went to the reception area to pay the school fees. Fees check was returned by banks due to some technical reason. So I went with the replacement check to be handed over to the school, and I was waiting that someone will attend me. And in the meantime, I saw this boy was being taken by the sports staff. The boy was completely bleeding. He was wrapped in a cloth. 2 of his teachers were also following, and they were crying, and everybody was shocked to see the condition of the boy who was bleeding profusely. And all the drivers were called. The drivers rushed up to the main gate. Then one of the drivers was asked to bring the car. He brought the car, and the boy was immediately shifted to the hospital.
Now, Ryan's school owners brazen it out. Ryan's lawyer, Nitin Pradhan, in an exclusive interview to India Today, said a case of murder cannot be slapped against the Pintos. Pradhan reiterated there can only be a case of negligence in the management of the school, but the trustees cannot be made an accused in the case of murder. He also said it is feared that they won't get justice in Haryana, hence they have sought a transfer of the case to Delhi. Pradhan said the trustees stay in Mumbai and they do not look after the day-to-day working of all the 54 schools across the country. Talking about how sentiments of parents in Gurugram are running high, he said, and I quote, "Parents never burn shops and create law and order problems. They do not go on rampage. Some political parties are behind this. People with vested interests are trying to take advantage of this situation." Remember, 7-year-old Pradyuman was found dead in a washroom of the Ryan International School based in Gurugram.
Why is it that there's a fear of arrest? Why is it? I mean, if you look at it, there is no, their names don't even figure in the FIR. Their names only came 2 days later in a station diary entry. So why is there a fear?
The fear, my clients first time apprehended that there is a fear or their apprehension when in one internet newspaper there was a reference made of the Education Minister of Haryana, who said that I have given directions to make this management their trustees, and specifically he has taken name of Mr. Albert Pinto, but it is not Albert, it is in fact Augustine Pinto, but he has referred to as Albert Pinto, and he should be prosecuted for the offence. And
won't the trustees be liable for a bad infrastructure that they give to the school? If you look at the entire...
Offence is different. If they have floated...
It is that which has led to this offense.
No doubt about it. But then we'll have to prosecute the President of India every time. So with the bad infrastructure, then we'll have to prosecute the governor in Maharashtra, the potholes. In whose name and the orders are issued? They are issued in the name of the governor. Can we hold this? This is ridiculous and this is irrational reasoning, and this cannot work like this. What is important is the incident which has taken place. All right, this is one part. Let us put it in another compartment, another thing, and that another thing is the infrastructure developments and infrastructure corrections. Now this need not to be mixed up with the earlier incident. If you can separate them and provide the better infrastructure to avoid such type of incidents, I can understand that. But that murder has taken place because otherwise the people were just waiting outside the school to kill the people and kill the children. If that is what you have to say, then there is something terribly wrong with our social fabric.
So, but the kind of emotions that we have been seeing, especially in this case with the ministers coming out and asking for the prosecution of the trustees as well, do you think you are being unfairly targeted?
Of course they are unfairly targeted. The trustees, first time they started coming up, and the allegations started. They started hurling the allegations on 10th when the mob gathered outside, and they started throwing the bottles and the stones. And that time this demand was made, and it surfaced for the first time.
Tamil Nadu politics took a massive turn with the AIADMK General Council expelling Sasikala from the post of General Secretary and removing her nephew TTV Dinakaran from the party's post as well. Chief Minister EPS and Deputy Chief Minister OPS have been conferred with equal share of power in the AIADMK steering committee that would now manage the party affairs. TTV Dinakaran lashed out at APS and OPS, calling the General Council meet a sham. He said his group will wait for another 2 to 3 days for the governor to decide on the floor test demand. Meanwhile, one TTV supporter MLA had escaped from the resort in Coorg. This after Tamil Nadu police came hunting for him in connection with a suicide case. Opposition DMK has moved Madras High Court to direct Governor Vidyasagar Rao to conduct a floor test and asked Chief Minister A. Palaniswamy to prove his majority. Well, after DIG Rupa made explosive revelations on VVIP treatment to Sasikala in Bengaluru prison, India Today has accessed more details showing now jail authorities abused their power and allowed Sasikala to flout prison rules. According to an RTI reply, special privileges were given to Sasikala inside the jail in the month of July. As per the prison manual, only 4 to 6 visitors were allowed to meet a prisoner, but at least 7 people met her. In further revelations, she met visitors within a week's time, again violating another rule which states a convict can be visited only once in 15 days. Not only that, Sasikala was allowed to meet Karnataka AIADMK secretary after 5 p.m. as well, in yet another violation of the prison manual.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.